All right, 3, 2, 1, go!
Hello everyone, it's the masculine ideal, Paul Wedding here. With me as always, Leopold Knopp. We're here at Rip Rocks Bar and Grill in Denton, Texas. This week we'll be reviewing Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Knopp, did justice dawn?
This movie, you've got Batman, and he's Batman. And then you've got Superman, and he's, you know, Superman. And they fight. And that's it. That's the movie. Nothing else happens. It's just, you know, them fighting.
You know, my drug dealer really loved this movie. This movie, the way it was shot, is just a mess.
Zack Snyder, he sucks.
He just can't keep the camera focused anywhere. It's chaotic. It does this ridiculous zoom in on people, and the camera's very shaky. And shaky cam's never been good.
They'll have close-ups, but the close-ups will be handheld. So it'll be like, you're Superman, and this will be this close, and the frame will be going.
The camera work is so chaotic, and the story is so chaotic, that it makes it like twice as hard to understand what's going on in this movie. My whole gripe for this movie is there's not really anyone to root for. Batman and Superman have reasons for hating each other, but the reasons are kind of the same, and both of them do the same shit that the other person does.
Having moral ambiguity is a good thing, is it not?
That's not acknowledged. They treat them like they are these good, strong characters, instead of these psychopathic murderers that they actually are.
We have Batman carrying a gun and murdering people. And that was the problem that people had with Man of Steel as well, is Superman does not destroy cities. They have all this Jesus imagery and all this messianic stuff, because in the comics he is very much a savior figure. That's his favorite thing to do. He hits bad guys, but that's not his main thing. His main thing is saving people from the massive destruction. And he doesn't in Man of Steel, and he doesn't in this movie either. We've got Superman in this corner, and he wants to stop Batman because Batman is murdering people. And we've got Batman, and he wants to stop Superman because Superman is murdering people. And then we've got the villain, Lex Luthor, who wants a contingency plan in case more murderous aliens come. Which, who are you really going to root for here?
Lex Luthor, you know, he's got a pretty reasonable idea. He doesn't want Superman to go insane and start destroying the city like, you know, he already did. And so he wants to have a backup plan.
So as much as Lex Luthor was the most sympathetic character from a story perspective, Jesse Eisenberg's casting was very controversial. Ben Affleck's casting was very controversial. What did you think of Eisenberg?
I thought he overacted the role. I just didn't think Jesse Eisenberg fit the character that he was trying to do.
I feel really bad for Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck was very good in this movie. I would dare say that Ben Affleck would be my favorite live performance of Batman.
He didn't want to do this movie in the first place because he did Daredevil in 2003, and everyone hated that for reasons that were entirely not his fault. Since then, it's been followed up by this wonderful television series. He's following up these iconic movies, and it is again terrible and completely not his fault. He's in like a Nicolas Cage position where everyone hates him because he picks bad movies, and Nicolas Cage is such a psychopath in real life that it never bothers him, but Affleck takes all of it personally.
I want them to kick out Zack Snyder and just hand over control of the DC Universe to Ben Affleck. Just set it in Boston. I don't give a fuck. Just, do you think that the Justice League movie and the movies going forward are salvageable?
Since this movie came out, there's been a lot of articles about all the Easter eggs saying Darkseid's coming, and Lex Luthor knows that Darkseid is coming. And so that's why he's assembling the Justice League. Or he's also... It's fucking weird and ambiguous. There's a deleted scene where Lex Luthor has communion with one of the heralds of Darkseid. And so that's the subtext for this movie. Lex Luthor does not just want insurance against Superman. He knows that someone even more powerful is on his way. Actually addressing that subtext would make this a much stronger movie.
I guess outside of, like murdering Congress, Lex Luthor didn't really do anything wrong in this movie. Have you seen the Congress nowadays? Can you blame them?
DC doesn't do post-credit scenes. They think they're sticking it to Marvel somehow by not doing that. But the thing with the Marvel movies is they have whole self-contained movies, and then all their teasers are in post-credit scenes. Dawn of Justice, if they'd applied that style, it's a 2.5-hour movie, 30-40 minutes of it would have been post-credit scenes. Because it is all about setting up the next movies.
Boom! Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. In the span of like 5 minutes, you see not even 5 minutes, in the span of like 2 minutes, you see like 10-second clips of each of them. Wonder Woman you see in this movie for about half an hour. You see her as actual Wonder Woman for like 15 minutes and she doesn't do anything. There's no real interest in these characters because I don't know anything about them. They're not established. They're just like, oh, look, this is coming around.
This was a big deal because this was going to be the first real woman superhero. And fuck you, Catwoman and Black Widow and whatever the fuck else. And she doesn't do it.
This really does feel like it was written by a 10-year-old boy. And then Batman swung Superman around, and then Wonder Woman came out, and then Aquaman, he's there too, and the Flash.
And then Batman rips off a bathroom sink and hits Superman over the head with it.
I don't want to go back to the ADD comparison, but it really does feel like it was written by a 10-year-old with ADD, and shot by a 10-year-old with ADD. Last call. Knopp, how many beers would you give Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice?
None. It's a terrible movie.
I would also give it no beers. How many beers would you need to see it again?
I would advise 3 or 4 beers if you're like a happy drunk. If you're a sad drunk, because this is very much like Man of Steel, where it's soul crushing. So if you're a sad drunk, none. Do not see this while sad drunk, because it will make you sad.
Yeah, I'm going to say 5 beers, and I think that could make the movie somewhat fun. As always, Paul Wedding, Leopold Knopp, Rip Rocks, Batman vs. Superman. Cheers.
Cheers.